Why does UFO appear so often in the US? This is a question asked by many netizens, and this is the truth. In 2022 this year, public hearings on UFOs as we know them were held twice, the first being a UFO hearing held by the US House of Representatives on May 17. This is the second hearing held in nearly 50 years since the United States Air Force opened its UFO investigation in 1969. The second was the official UFO hearing held in Brazil on June 24. Brazil was also the first country to recognize the authenticity of UFO and its content as fact. Gunpowder. The hearing lasted more than 5 hours, the nature of which was different from the US hearing, which the US discussed was not how to expose and study UFO. Their core content is whether the appearance of UFO poses a danger to humans and how to prevent it. The content of the hearing in Brazil is to explain and acknowledge the existence of UFO to the public. In addition to the UFO researchers, there are former British agents and future military officers in the United States, all of whom have brought in most of the information about the UFO to prove that UFO exists. So Brazil is different from the US. Brazil is a country that encourages people to discover, report and reward. They will face the problem correctly, while the US mocks and discredits these witnesses and researchers UFO. While my country salutes, please ignore this question. Regardless of whether the UFO video released by the US military is true or not, one thing is for sure, the US is the country with the most UFO sightings and the US president is the most frequent group of people exposed to UFOs. Most UFOs. UFOs. There was one video that piqued Obama's intense curiosity in 2019, and that was UFOs. The image flies around the US warship, then hovers in the air for a while and then immediately plunges into the water. There were a lot of American soldiers there and witnessed what happened. Then Obama called for an investigation into the matter, and we don't know the outcome of the investigation. In fact, each of their top leaders will be curious about UFOs and alien civilizations after taking office. Therefore, they all have one thing in common, which is to send subordinates to investigate US Area 51 to see if there really exist UFO or aliens. But after the results of the investigation, most presidents are tight-lipped. Anyway, the matter is too secret. Some presidents explicitly say they know about the issue when they're asked about it, but they can't say it because they've signed a non-disclosure agreement. Let's see how these presidents responded when they were asked about the incident when they were interviewed. Please analyze carefully what they appear to be joking around, but actually they have something to say. If I were the president, I would ask to see all the confidential files on UFO. Have you done it before? I sent someone to look at the records of each of the 51 profiles to make sure none of them were 80 or below when the commission would come up with. I have reviewed all the papers of Russell. I'm trying to tell you, I don't know, but if one day we get to visit, I won't be surprised that we are alone. Oh, you're trying to give me a hint that they really care. But first, I want to ask you, have you looked through the secret files, UFO docs? You know, it's funny. My daughter also asked the same question she did. Yes, are you allowed to tell your daughter what is in those files? Yes, you don't know. Yes. Ah. But I'm not telling you. But I didn't tell him, you know. We already have your husband as an existing client in the program. He said, I asked him about UFOs in Area 51. If I'm present, that's the first thing I do. I go right into those files and see what's going on, right? And he said he didn't do it right, and then he found nothing. Well, I'll do that as best I can, but I want us to dive into those files and hopefully make as much public as possible if there's nothing there. Tell people there's nothing there, but there's something that I know, you know, a threat to national security. Please share it with the public. And you know, I'm happy to do that. So I ask the question. Before you leave the office where you tell us if there are aliens, because this is the only thing I really want to know what I want to know what's going on when you open up. Rose, well, tell us what's really going on. A lot of people have asked me that question. Cell phones are ridiculous, but it's really a real question. What it really is, there are millions of people who want to go there. They want to see it. I won't say what I want to say about it, but it's very interesting. But Russell is a very interesting place with a lot of people want to know what's going on. So you say you can declassify, you will get it. Well, I'll have to think about that. An actual bar says that there is footage of objects in the sky. These are defined areas in the north and he said we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think it is? I will ask him again. Thank you. A base. Unnecessary. And with my new conference. Did you ever ask for this information so we could tell you? No, but I will tell you that there are times when I have information that arrives later than I would like, but there it is. Key information out. The values of the agency can challenge UFS and UFS. Did you ask about that? Definitely asked about that. Sorry, okay, thanks. 12 o'clock. I would consider that yes. Because if they're not what I said, then nothing, that's right. You just play your cards, feel it, feel free to think I do. I do. A lot of dirt makes me very happy just thinking about what you told me. Can I say it used to be UFOs, and what is OS? Well, that's the biggest conspiracy. Yes, now that seems very pleasant, doesn't it? The idea that the government can have a healing space. Now the biggest thing, the business, that inspires him, is the people who vote in Michigan. Become an alien. There are some things I can't tell you on television which are true, and what I'm really serious about here is, there's footage and records about our drinks with these guys. We don't know exactly what they are. We can explain how they move projects, they don't have an easy to explain template. And about every 51 I would only increase 2 stakes. And UFO. Have you done that yet? That's why you won't be presented. Do you have any secret? And exercises are strictly controlled abroad. Now, you know, there's a lot of people going to check your face, your facial expression and as here. So have you looked? Can you see? Do you have it? I can have a bill, and I can have a bill, and I can have that particular word structure to say. John said he did the right thing, and he checked. And nothing, what happens, what word structure to say? Do you see loneliness, or do you see anything? Why does UFO often appear in the United States and Brazil but rarely in our country? In fact, the problems in our country are not many, but our relevant departments do not pay too much attention to these issues. Perhaps all their attention is focused on strengthening the nation, strengthening the army and strengthening the army. Old people. This is also the reason why our country develops so fast. Pay attention to attack and defense body temperature. The next problem will be more interesting.
Damn.